I thought I'd share a fun little video today. Rhys put Humpty Dumpty back together again, and I got all my pedals in one spot. I promise I won't tear them apart and mess with it this time, but it's funny, you know, I don't use a whole lot of pedals normally, but I love gadgets and different sounds. And if you look here, so I've got the Valvulator VHT, which is a booster here that Jim Russell got me a long time ago, along with my Voodoo bass, which I can also credit Jim for. I always gave my Strat a little more beef. The only new pedal that's really in the mix is the Specular Tempus, kind of an ambient thing. If you listen to it, it's really cool. It's got this like... Not very often, but I use it. And then I've got the trusty chorus flanger I've always loved because of my love of Andy Summers. Great sounding pedal. My digital DD5 Boss delay. I've never sprung for a looper. I should probably get one, but that one's got just enough for me to loop stuff. And then I go back and forth between this Maxon SD9 that Scott Henderson and I like, but sometimes I'll throw the Tube Screamer in there. I still got my old Tube Screamer. And the Boss Octaver, get the Jeff Beck thing going on. And then for my drive stage, I've always loved the tube driver. And I think we can all credit Eric Johnson with kind of bringing that thing into the forefront of really driving a tube amp. And since I use tube amps, that's really usually all I need on the drive channel to get it to go to a boost. But then Alan, who just always had such a great ear for tone, turned me on to these. I've always been a fan of TC Electronics. I even had their 2290 back in the 90s. But you'll see here, I've got their sustain equalizer and their booster distortion. And I'll play those in a next video for you where I do everything and let you hear how they all sound. But there they are all together again, and I'm excited about using them at the live show. And last but not least, in my singing the praises of the Fender Stratocaster on Monday, I also want to mention Richie Blackmore, a fine Strat player. He just did a gig with Deep Purple, which is the first one in a long time. And you know, the first guitar solo I couldn't figure out by ear. There were two of them. One was Highway Star by Deep Purple. That got out of the pentatonic 5-note thing, and I had a hard time figuring out. If you can sing it, you can play it. So when I got Highway Star figured out, okay, there's something going on besides this pentatonic scale. And then Donald Roser, the guitar player from Blue Oyster Cult, had used the harmonic minor scale on Don't Fear the Reaper, and I started to recognize that scale a little bit from my Al Di Meola albums. And I never looked back. I love pentatonic scales like we all do, but they're not the basis of my playing by any means. I use all 12 tones, and I use them all over the place, just however I hear them. And I even use some semitones in there. So anyway, you know, God bless Richie and his white Strat. I got one too. But check out this Voodoo bass. So if I played Smoke on the Water just with a normal drive on a boogie, it would sound fine. But with the Roger Mayer Voodoo bass in there, give this a whirl.